Daniel here for Tabletop for... Oh my. Is that what I look like? Oh gosh. Cut! Cut!
Thanks a lot, Travis.
I'm so sorry about that. I obviously put on the wrong shirt. Now I'm much more presentable. And I welcome you to my 100th video spectacular. I've done 100 videos on this channel about solo board gaming and other stuff. My channel has grown quite a bit. I've passed 700 subscribers at this point. Thank you so much. My collection's grown and my love for the hobby's grown, and I just want to take this time in this video to introduce myself to you, for those of you who don't know me. But you're also here for the games, so I am going to highlight some games. So in this video, I will have 5 bits of information about me and 5 games that I find essential for the solo gaming library. First of all, I just want to tell you, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I used to work for a big company for 17 years, and as of right now, it seems best that I stay at home and take care of the kids. It saves some money on childcare and that sort of thing. My 5 kids are featured in this photo here. This is a few years back. Actually, it's probably like at least 4 years back, maybe. But the kids are growing up now. I have 4 boys and a girl, and they're just wonderful kids, and I love my kids. I'm married. My wife is a very hardworking, beautiful woman who just is great support in my life, and I thank her for that. So that's a tidbit about me, but let's talk about the first game that I think is an essential game for your solo library. This is not as well known as it ought to be, and I'm surprised it's not. Maybe because it didn't hit a widespread publisher. It's been on Kickstarter a few times, but it's just not out there as much as it should be, and that is Puzzle Dungeon. Now, Puzzle Dungeon is a straight-up solitaire game with cards. You have a deck of cards that resemble, a standard deck of cards almost, but they have swords and wands and hands and shields on them. And you use the suits of cards to defeat enemies in a dungeon, and you try and defeat the elite enemies of each dungeon based upon your character. Your character has a specific quest that he wants to complete, and you fill out this grid of monsters in the dungeon. You defeat the monsters, then you use the monsters. You loot them, basically. You get them as an ability to use against the other monsters later. It's a fantastic game. It's designed by Brian Garber, and I believe you can order it on his Etsy page. That's where I got mine, and mine is the deluxe edition. Has so much replayability, one of the best solo games in my collection. It is a fantastic solo experience, and it really should be in everybody's collection. And so tidbit number 2 about me is I'm an amateur. You probably already know that from watching my videos, but I've never done anything like this in my life. I've had to learn video editing from the ground up. I have not watched really any tutorials. I've just learned it on my own. So you can see the progress from the old videos to the newer videos as I'm improving my editing technique and my speech pattern. I'm typically a slow speaker. I'm probably speaking 3 times my normal speed right now, which may be surprising to you, but for me, it's just how I am. And so I'm not very good at this. And I have one camera. The camera that's taking video of me right now is just a cell phone. It's a, 8-year-old cell phone. And I've got a little mic attached to it. I don't have a lot of technology. I just have a huge passion for doing this because I want to share the enjoyment of the hobby, but we'll save that for tidbit number 3. And so for the second game that I find essential for the solo collection, you're going to find up here, and that is Bullet. Bullet by Level 99 Games is a fantastic game. It is the only game that I've reviewed calling it a perfect solo experience. It's because it takes the theme of bullet hell, shoot 'em up video games, puts it on the tabletop in such a fun, puzzly way. Very challenging, so much replayability between the combination of the heroines and the bosses and all that. There's so much content in the box. fantastic production quality, especially if you get the deluxe bullets. They're really thick, round bullets. It's just such a great experience. Highly recommend it. 10 out of 10 game. The only perfect game that I know of in my collection. It's not my number one game, even that, but it's still a perfect solo experience, and I'm so glad to have it in my collection. Highly recommend it for yours. Definitely check it out. And so for number 3 tidbit about me. So my goal with this channel, I'm not going to be a big star. That's just a fact. I'm not very good at this. But I have such a passion for this hobby. And I love what this hobby has brought to me. You can see I've got Earth in front of me right here, the new Kickstarter game. I just finished recording a playthrough of it. And I love providing these playthroughs and these reviews and the videos that I provide for you in hopes that it shares the joy with you. I want you to enjoy it more than me. I really do. I want you to find games that you'll enjoy, that you'll play, that'll take you to other worlds, or that will occupy your mind and challenge you intellectually or mentally, or whatever it is you seek in these games. I want to help amplify that for you. I want to bring that to you, and I want to share that enjoyment with you. That's why I love to interact with you on Facebook and on BGG. I love to hear from you on my YouTube channel. I've responded to every single comment, and if I haven't responded to your comment, let me know, because I try to track everything. I love the engagement because I want to share that with you, and that is my goal of this channel. And so my third essential game is actually a little bit of a cheat, because there's 3 games. They are LCG games, and you probably already know what they are if you followed me before. But I have 3 LCG games in my collection, and they're fantastic games. I love them. I own almost all the content for all of them, and I can't wait for more content. So I have Marvel Champions, Arkham Horror, and the third LCG is not really an LCG, but it sure feels like one, and that's Warfighter. You're going to find Warfighter over here. On my left, I have all the cores. All of them. Warfighter, oh my goodness, is my number 2 game of all time. It might make number 1 with Warfighter Fantasy, we'll see. But it's such a great experience. So thematic. The rules are so intuitive. Everything makes sense. It provides a story as you go. There's no written story. The story is written as you play. As you assemble your squad of soldiers and march them through the jungle. I'm speaking of the jungle because Warfighter Pacific is my favorite of them all. And, oh my goodness, it's such a great experience. But so is Arkham Horror. So is Marvel Champions. Marvel Champions is lighter on the story, but it's got a lot of the good action and card play. So many different characters and heroes and hero-villain combinations you can do. There's like hundreds, maybe even 1,000 at this point of different combinations. You can probably 1,000. So a lot of really great experience. I highly recommend any one of them or all of them. They are so good, but Warfighter definitely holds the top. It's my favorite. I actually have tattoos for Warfighter and Arkham Horror. My Arkham Horror one's on my leg. I won't show you that because that blind your eyes. I do have my Warfighter one on the inside of my sleeve here. But yeah, such a great experience. And so tidbit number 4 is more on a personal level. You've probably already know this if you followed me on Facebook. But I suffer from severe anxiety and depression, and it is bad sometimes. And and board games, when I got back into board gaming several years back, it was during the time when it was really, really dark. And I think the game that really got me back in was Star Realms, maybe Ascension. And so the games, they provided a moment in time for me to escape. I don't know if escape's the right word. They occupied my mind in a way that took me away from darker thoughts and feelings, and they continue to do so to this day. I still struggle daily, and I have a hard time talking about it. But board games are really important to me in that way, that they provide me with a way to occupy my mind, to guide my thoughts, to direct my thoughts to something that's more achievable, and to provide that outlet, and even to escape into some adventure story like Tenare's Adventures, or Sleeping Gods, or Arkham Horror. Any of those, they bring me out and away from those things that hurt, and that cause pain. And I am so thankful for this hobby, and for the people within the hobby, and for my friends on Facebook and those who have supported me, because this is life-saving to me. And it sounds stupid to say it that way, but it is. It is. It's life-saving. I'm sorry that maybe that was a little too personal, but that was the fourth thing I would tell you about me. I'm sorry, I'm still emotional, but I'm gonna move on to the fourth essential game for a collection. And now I'm gonna name a game, but you can really fit in any game that you find here. And it's a campaign game. I think every solo gamer should have at least one large campaign game in their collection. If you see up here, I have this dragon collection. And this dragon collection is part of Tenare's Adventures, or Arena the Contest. Both of those are together in the same universe, and Arena the Contest came first. And Tenare's Adventures, which I have up on the shelf above me here, just came out recently. Fantastic experience. If you can get your hands on it, Tenare's is one of the best adventure games I've ever played. One of the best campaign games. From the fact that you work out the story of choices in every story mode of the game, which play out in your quest and can actually affect the dungeon you play each time. So every time you play, the dungeon's going to be different, because if you choose differently on how you handle the problems in the story, it's going to change how difficult or easy the dungeon might be. And then you move on to the city phase, where you have like this Euro-style city phase with action selection and resource manipulation and all sorts of things. It's really neat. You upgrade buildings and shop and all sorts of things, and recruit new characters to your team. Man, Tenare's is amazing, but I know you guys have your own campaign games, so if you have one that you love, keep it, play it, enjoy it. If you don't have a campaign game out there, I highly recommend you go out and find one. And, there's Gloomhaven. Not for me, for solo, but for a lot of people, it's a great game. There's Oathsworn. There's Frosthaven now. There's all sorts of games. So I definitely say go check out those games. Find one that works for you. Definitely worth having in your collection. And so the fifth thing that I want to tell you about myself is that I'm absolutely inspired by all of you. There's several people on Facebook that have been such a positive influence in my life. The publisher, Danverson Games, I actually got to visit them not too long ago. I went to their warehouse when I was at Disneyland. We were there with my family, and their warehouse was a 45-minute drive. And so on the one day we weren't visiting the theme park, I drove over there, and I met the great people at Danverson Games and had a fantastic experience. Of course, I met them online, and then I was able to meet them in person. Such a great thing. There's several content creators out there that have been such a fantastic influence on me. You've got Jeremy Howard from Man vs. Meeple. You've got the Hungry Gamer, Thinker Themer, and so many others that have really put a positive impact on me. And I've thanked you on Facebook, and I thank you now for encouraging me. And then you've got all of the people on the Facebook solo groups who are just so nice and refreshing and encouraging and fun to talk to and joke around with, or talk about serious stuff. But it's such a great experience to talk to you, to recognize your name, and to have recurring conversations and encouragement. Fellow gamers that share the same interests. It's such a great experience. I love all that, and I thank you for that. I wouldn't do this, wouldn't be able to do this without all of you, and it's just amazing. And I can't wait to keep talking with you. I love engaging with you. I love spending that time to get to know you, and I hope you get to know me as well. And so the fifth essential game that I'm going to talk about is kind of, hit and miss with some people, but I love it. It's such a fantastic game. It's the most played game that I played last year, and that's going to be Marvel United. Now, the reason why I say this is an essential game, for one thing, it's just a fun game. I mean, it's very light. The decisions aren't huge. It's fun to just play the different characters, move around the board, try different combos, defeat some of the really difficult bosses, maybe even fight the Sentinels in the X-Men universe, all sorts of things. But what this also offers is a really fun intro experience to miniature painting. The miniatures in this game are fantastic to paint. They're really not that hard. You don't need much skill at all. You just need to prime them down, put a little bit of paint on there, and they look fantastic because the miniature quality is so good. So not only does this provide a fun solo gaming experience, but if you are wanting to dabble in miniature painting, this is a really good way to go. And with the core Marvel United game that you can find for like $20, I think you get, almost 10 miniatures in that? That's a great way to start. You get the game's fantastic experience, and you get plenty of miniatures to paint. So I definitely suggest that as an essential solo experience. Now, of course, there are many other games I could add to that list, and you'll see those games in later videos, especially when I finally do my top 10 solo games of all time. I don't know when that video is going to be. That's such a hard list to make. I'd probably do like a top 30, but even then, it's so difficult to narrow down that list. I've got over 200 games, but we'll see when that video comes out. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. I really thank you for joining me here. I thank you for being part of this channel by encouraging me through your comments, helping me through your critiques, and watching these videos, hitting the like, engaging me on social media. Please let me know what you think are the 5 top solo essential games. I'd love to hear from you because I think there's some fantastic games out there that I don't even have in my collection. So definitely let me know. I thank you very much for watching Tabletop for One, and have a great night.